Okay. Kevin, I'm still trying to find the Ken Sayers draft.
Okay, I can send it to you again if you'd like.
Well, was it in the string? Was it in the string that you were sent that email about your attendance tonight?
No, it's not in that email, but it's in the folder online. If you can get to the documents folder.
Ah, okay. Let's see.
You all are set live, so you can begin the meeting whenever you want. I'm just going to be in the background making dinner. So,
All right. Thank
all
you.
right. Mm-hmm.
I'm having trouble finding it.
Okay, I'll email it to you.
It's C. Craig at Harper's Ferry, WV.
Okay, it should be on its way to you.
Okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. It's 7:03. This is the Ordinance Review Committee meeting. Today is the 10th of February, 2022. And we have one item on the agenda tonight that is, well, first of all, approval of the agenda.
I move to accept the agenda as submitted. Second.
Okay. Well, if there are no objections, the agenda is approved as received.
Okay.
Or we can take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Ordinance amendments for the regulation of fences. So we have the ordinance that was proposed back in 2019, the draft that was proposed in 2019. That came back from the Planning Commission and then was considered by council at that time. There were some concerns that had been voiced, and I believe those have been addressed now. And the town attorney has reviewed the draft and had a couple of suggestions, which you will see in the draft. Those are in green. At 1304.02A 4C. He had some revised language there. And then in Appendix A, he had a small amendment there as well, suggestion there.
Yeah, let's see. Find my glasses. Okay. So, so 1304.02, is that what we are looking at first?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Is it the changes on 1304.02 that we're looking at first?
Right. The track changes that are in green were the attorney's recommended changes.
Yeah.
He was completely fine with the fence being on the boundary line and having joint ownership of the fence if both owners agree to it. He had no objections to that. In fact, he thought that that was a pretty good idea, really, were his words.
Okay. I still have some issues about that whole concept. If he's comfortable with it, I can go with it. I do think that is something that, along with our general historic guidelines and some of the education that we need to amp up for our historic district, that should be included. I guess coming from the background on the BZA, I just have visions of being faced with disagreements between two joint owners of a fence at some point, or more likely someone buying property and really not having been told or on their radar that they have a joint ownership with another property owner. I think at least we'll need to address that in some education for the town and realtors, perhaps.
I don't think it makes any sense to have two fences on the property line.
No, it's not an issue of two fences on the property line. It's the whole concept of the joint ownership.
I think that's the only way you can do it with one fence.
Yeah. Well, the alternative that we had talked about was possibly coming close to the property line. And we haven't avoided that possibility with this ordinance. We could still have two fences right up back to back.
I would hope not.
But this does not address that. It does address the joint ownership, and if the lawyer thinks that this deals with it, okay, I can go with that.
I move we accept the changes made by the town attorney in 130402.
Was that a motion?
That was a motion, yes.
I can't hear very well. I'm sorry.
I move that we
Even with my
accept
earbuds in.
I move we accept the changes made by the town attorney to 130402.
I would second that. Further discussion? I do have one thing I want to add. The joint ownership, if there is a written agreement, I believe that would have to be written in as an easement on the property deeds. I think that's how that would have to go.
So you think in any real estate transaction that everyone would be wise to the situation and yeah.
I think
That
that's
would
really
certainly
about
help.
the only way that you can ensure that future property owners are going to be aware of the agreement that was made.
Yeah. And is that a process that would happen basically at the courthouse?
Yeah, that would have to be recorded at the courthouse.
Mhm.
And I think that's part of the education that would have to be done. When the issue of fences comes up, if there is a written agreement between the property owners, then they need to be notified or directed. That needs to be written into the deed as an easement into the deed.
Okay, and I saw the email about Kevin Hamilton's comments just right as I was trying to get everything else together. What were his concerns?
His concerns were that there needs to be a property survey done to make sure that the fence is on the property line, or if it's only one property owner that's installing a fence, it's on their property and not on the other person's property.
Right.
But this ordinance does include, or this draft ordinance does include language about survey markers and a string. And so he felt that that was sufficiently addressed.
Yeah, I think that's spelled out pretty clearly. Okay. Was that his only concern?
That was it.
Okay.
Let's vote.
Any further discussion on the motion?
No, not for me.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. And then the other change that the attorney suggested was an Appendix A, and that was the addition of the words "except designated boundary line fences" at number 4. And that goes along with the change that he recommended in 1304
Mm-hmm.
or 13. Is it 1304? Yeah, 1304.
So the green there is being inserted into our addendum,
Changes.
right?
Right.
Yeah. So all fences except designated boundary line fences must be installed with the finished side facing out. Yeah, and that took care of one of my concerns that we talked about a little bit before.
Yeah.
I like that.
Because if there is an agreement between the property owners, they have to decide which side is going to get the finished side of the fence.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So, and that is his only change to the revisions on Appendix A, right?
Yes.
So,
And he had none to Appendix B. So those
Right.
were the only two suggestions that he had, was this in Appendix A and the other one in 1304.
Yeah.
As far as fences go, now he had some comments about 1303 that have nothing to do with fences, and we'll need to address those soon, I guess.
yeah, I'd like to.
Those don't have anything to do with fences.
Well, unless it's a permit for a fence, right?
It had to do with variances, I believe.
Yeah.
Or
I would like to.
site review.
Okay. I would like to chat about those a little bit, but as far as Appendix A, I'm comfortable, and I would move that we accept, or that we recommend to the council the revisions for Appendix A as reviewed by the town lawyer.
I second.
Okay, any further discussion on that? All right, all in favor? Aye, unanimous. And I would make a motion that we move this draft of ordinance 2022-01, it's going to be number 1, to the town council for approval, for discussion and action.
And can we get that in for this Monday?
It's already on the agenda.
Yeah. And all the the paperwork, you can handle that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sounds great. I would second that.
Okay, any further discussion on that? All in favor? And unanimous. And were there any other concerns or questions?
That
about the ordinance?
that comment that Mr. Serf sent us about the site plan, I think it raised several concerns that there may need to be some discussion between Planning Commission and Board of Zoning Appeals. Just where we go with that. My understanding is that some of those recommendations for the procedure came from Mark Sad on his legal advice. So, you know, some of us will need to study that a little bit more and maybe chat a little bit more. And then I guess come to a plan that will resolve everything.
We can't take an official action on it right now because that's not specifically on our agenda, but my recommendation would be that to ask the Planning Commission to go ahead and start looking at that concern and maybe address it with the BZA, possibly the OCO if necessary.
Yeah. Sounds good. And I can still get that on the agenda for the February meeting and for the Planning Commission. And then I know we don't have an agenda for any other discussion, but can we talk about things on the horizon about future agendas or
we can have
future
a
meetings?
general discussion about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I know I chatted to the mayor just recently and he still had a concern, and it's on his priority list to meet about the nuisance ordinance. And that I'm assuming this came up so quickly that we couldn't really get that on the agenda.
Yeah.
But I guess we should try to, well, maybe we should work out a time that the mayor and Kevin Hamilton can meet with us about that to get going.
Yeah, and if you want to take the lead on that, that would be great. Contact Greg and Kevin and see when they may be able to meet with us.
Sure. Yeah, I'll do that. And then the other thing was minutes. I had a vague memory of taking minutes last time, and I think I sent them out, but this meeting came up quickly enough, and I was busy enough, I didn't get to dig back in. Do you recall, Kevin, whether we had minutes on the last meeting?
We did. I don't remember who wrote them. I don't remember. It was one of the two of you, but I don't remember which one.
I think I recorded last
did,
time.
yeah.
And I believe I sent them out, but I'll check on that.
Okay.
And so maybe
We'll definitely get that on the next agenda. For this one, I didn't even think about minutes. I just wanted to hurry up and get this issue addressed. So
yeah,
that we
and I
can discuss it
appreciate
Monday
that.
at the council meeting.
Yeah, I understand that. So maybe next time we can get both of the old minutes and these that Jim are doing.
I'll send that to you tonight.
Okay.
Feel good?
Thank you.
Okay. And I'll make sure that I did send them and that I have them, and I'll send them again.
Okay.
I move we adjourn.
Okay. And I'll second that.
Okay.
All right. All in favor? All right. Aye. We are adjourned at 7:20. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kevin.
All right.
Good night.
Good night, y'all.
Good night, Chris. Good night, Kevin.
Night.
What happened?
We just adjourned.
Oh, you did? Okay, well, that was
We
very
did.
snappy. All right. Well, I'm going to end the meeting then. Have a good
All
night.
right, thank you. Good night.
Yep.